Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Chargers Power Hour Season 2, Episode 15. I'm going to call this, Are the Chargers Are on the Rise? Are ready to rise, are? JD, you want to hit that wonderful drop for me? The channel sponsor and the show sponsor, neonpeacockmerch.com. Head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. There's fresh new things like custom tees, custom hoodies, everything, framed artwork, cupware, drinkware, you name it. Head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. He's got some amazing designs, new designs, Las Vegas gear, Chargers gear, all NFL gear. You'll find something over there at neonpeacockmerch.com. Just make sure to put your email in there and get lined up for the ads, sales that are coming up, which I know eventually. I know Peacock's working on different things, but head on over to neonpeacockmerch.com. But on that note, hey, what's good, Bolt fam? I'm all good. Welcome back to another edition of Episode 15, Season 2. JD, you want to pull up that wonderful Derwin James pitch? Let's go. All righty. Well, we all know that all the predictions came out that, hey, they ranked by positions, and Derwin James ranked number 2. Unfortunately, Kyle Hamilton of the Baltimore Dead Bird Ravens came in first. But hey, to me, Derwin James is just a little better, does an all-around player. But hey, it is what it is. Rankings are rankings. It's how you produce in the field. Let's go. What up, King D? Shout out to King D. Shout out to everyone. Hey, Marco last week said last year it was the Charger Power half hour. Marco, yeah, even though you're not here in the chat, it was a half an hour show. I had to live up to the billing. I had to go a little higher than that. Yeah, but it was the power half hour power, Marco, but it turned into an hour, if not plus. But no, on that note, yeah, they all say Derwin James is number 2. Hey, if he's number 2, that's fine. I ain't too worried about it. We know who he's number 1 in our hearts, so that's all that matters, right? I mean, I respect Derwin James for what he does. He does everything on the field. He does his job. He covers multiple positions. He's a leader on that defense. Come on. He's the anchor of our defense. So you look at that. Let ESPN talk their shit all they want. They can rank him number 2, but he's number 1 to me. I know what that man can do. Hey, Booga, you know the exactly same thing, man. I'll take Derwin James all day. As you said, he's been the highest paid safety twice by Los Angeles Chargers. So that's saying something. Kyle Hamilton, you got that one title. Derwin James has got you one up on that one, so it is what it is. But as I said, ESPN annual survey, executive coaches, scouts, hey, they named Derwin James number 2, entering the 2026 season. Hey, he climbed 4 spots. He climbed 4 spots after one of the most complete campaigns of his career last year. That man was a heavy hitting pause, man. That's all last night. But hey, as I said, you don't pay the man if he's not producing. He does his job. He's a leader, and he just shakes the heartbeat of that defense. One of the anchors of that defense. Come on, he's one of the hardest hitting safeties in the NFL. You ain't lying. Hey, just ask Travis Kelce. He took a ride on that couple plays a couple years ago. So hey, it is what it is. I mean, look at Derwin James last year. 108 tackles, 72 solo tackles, 4.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 10 pass defended. Come on, he's an all-around player. The numbers are there. Hey, let him be number 2. I'm not worried about it. Kyle Hamilton, you can have that number one spot. We know who's better. Simply, that's it. We'll see how you do. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, to me, if you're looking at Derwin James, he's not just a leader. He's the heartbeat of that team, that defense. But who do they go to? They go to Derwin James. But, hey, and if you have him in fantasy football, I think I have him in 2 spots. I'll say this about Derwin James. He's an automatic a DB1. He's versatile. Every down makes all those safest plays. But for IDP players like myself, you know, he's a great piece. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a number one. If you're looking for a number one DB, Derwin James would be one of the top notches from me. I mean, also you got Brian Branch over there, but Derwin James is a solid pick either way. But in fantasy football, he's someone you want to have. He's reliable. He covers all the stats you need. Just check your settings on that. But no, it's someone I'd have. I have him two, maybe 3 spots for Derwin James. But you know what? If Derwin James can do what he did last year with those numbers and what he does on the field, he's all over the place. I mean, I kept tracking last year, but hey, yeah, you know, what's up, Bogey? Welcome, man. And another show. Hey, thank you, the GWN Network. But hey, congratulations to the Gen Wealth Network. We did our 1,000th stream on the channel. So shout out to all our subscribers, all the people that watching right now and watched earlier. We appreciate each and every one of you. We wouldn't have been able to do what we do on the Gen Wealth Network if it wasn't for y'all's support, y'all watching our shows, watching my crazy self at times. I mean, I had a lot of crazy times last year. I had always crazy moments, but we from myself and the whole Gen Wealth Network, we thank each and every one of you for tuning in, watching everything, and always supporting us. We appreciate each and every one. I'm going to shout out from Bogey, Kidda, JD backstage, everyone on the Peacock, every one of us. Emil, especially, I appreciate you always showing up, man. You show up, you show out. I really appreciate it. Same with King D, each and everyone. There's so many people I could thank. I mean, but I want to appreciate each and every one of you for taking your time out of your day and also joining in the chat. It's always a fun, and then getting to know certain people. It's been great. I mean, over the past 4 years, I've had a blast. I mean, I've met some of the nicest people from fantasy football, and y'all subscribers have been the shit. I mean, I couldn't ask for better people. And then to watching my show, man, for me, I thought it was a fun ass thing. Hey, this is gonna work. And then King D would send me pictures to my cell phone and watch me in the car. Go, dude, you can watch that on replay. But I appreciate each and every one. It's kind of cool. But I thank you all for your support. And I know everyone in the Gen Wealth thanks you for the support. And we just look forward to having you all this year. And we're gonna have giveaways this year. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Remember, we got our Las Vegas draft coming up, so that's gonna be more fun. So I'm looking forward to that. To me, Las Vegas is here for us all. It's the start of the fantasy football season. We're grinding all the time. But on the GWN, we're always working. So I'm looking forward to that with the guys, but I most appreciate each and every one of you. All righty. So I know last week I did a lot of the offensive line. This week I'm going to mix it up with like defense, all that kind of stuff, and some offense. But JD, you want to pull up that second picture for me, please? Thank you. This could be the Molden picture. All righty. All righty. Well, I did mention a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to try to players that I feel that are going to break out or be an important player to our team this year for the Los Angeles Chargers. Well, I feel another player this year that could step up is Elijah Molden. I think he's going to have hopefully a breakout. I'm not going to say a breakout, but a better year last year. I think more improvement. I mean, one of the most I felt he was an underappreciated player last year on Los Angeles Chargers because he was producing quite a bit last year. But I think he can step up this year and get a larger role out of him. I mean, he showed exactly what Jim Harbaugh and our former coach Jesse Minter, loved about him throughout the 2025 season. He was very productive. But he also battled multiple injuries last year, so we really didn't get to see the full Elijah Molden that we all wanted to see. But he was one of the most reliable Chargers last year, and he was physical on defense. But in that Chargers secondary last year, I do think now for me, I know we lost Jesse Minter, we have Chris O'Leary, but I do think this secondary group this year does step up. I've heard some people say, "Oh no, our secondary." I think I think they're going to shock a lot of people our secondary this year, to be honest with you. I think he steps up. I mean, stepping up whenever the number. I mean, Molden stepped up last year whenever his number was called. He was there. So, he's a tough. He's got good football IQ, but his versatility is great too. But he continued to make improvement game in and game out last year on the defense. But now it's been a while since, he's going to enter training camp. He's going to have some, I'm not going to say company, but he's going to have some nice studs with him. He's going to have a lot of guys this year. But Molden, he's entering camp healthy. We didn't see a healthy Molden last year. He was in and out of the lineup last year. Hopefully, as I said, week after week, I'm sick of these Chargers injuries because you know what? They hit us at the wrong time. What's up, Emil? Best content creators. Oh, Emil, I appreciate that, man. You know what? I look at it this way. Yeah, the content we put out, but I think a lot of that attributes to the people that watch us. And I always say that people around us, what we do have here on the Gen Wealth is loyal subscribers that are always there. Emil, if I can count, Emil, I can't count. Same with Derek. Derek's the GWN film. But I'm saying, if there's people there, you know who's watching. If it's Emil, if it's King D, it's Derek. You always know who's there, and you know these people. So I look at it that way. It's not like you get someone here and there coming. No, you always have the same cast of characters and subscribers coming back. And I think that's what makes it very special, because you not just build a friendship, but you get to know a person a lot better, and they get to know you. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And I've always appreciate that. Hey, Derek, welcome, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all of you. But it's kind of cool. But I think Elijah Molden does step up this year. I mean, the Chargers believe, man, he could take another level to his game. And we're going to see what he does with O'Leary. Yes, we don't have Jesse mentioned. The business is business. Coaches leave every single year. Next man up. It's Chris O'Leary. But I do think this, as I said, this, even with O'Leary, I think this secondary can be good, special this year. I mean, he can shock a lot of people. I mean, the AFC does have a lot of good safeties. Elijah Molden is a young name. Hey, keep an eye out. I mean, even if it's in fantasy football, I have him in a few spots. But I'm not saying have him, but if you need someone at that position, it's a name that just to remember. I'm not saying because it's a Charger player. Trust me, I know that. But I do have him. He was reliable last year in fantasy football. Now, I mean, especially with Derwin James, he has Derwin James there. We're not talking about some slouch. Just talking about Derwin fucking James here. And that's someone he can learn from. I mean, you're picking up a man's head paws that knows what he's doing. We know what Derwin James does. But having that leadership, it's great for the Chargers. We have a young team, but we have that leadership. It's just like you. If I said example with Tully. He has Khalil Mack to look up to. Having that person to look up to, pick their brain, say, hey, what can I improve? Where can I get better? Derwin James is a great leader. I mean, all that just helps him get better going on. Yeah, Derek, I appreciate each of them, man. I say one thing. Hey, Chase, what's up? Shout out to Orange Crush. Oh, man, it's going to be fun this year. The AFC West is going to be fun this year, man. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I've really been – this year – last year, I learned a lot. I smack talked a lot of shit about AFC West teams, but knowing this year going to year 2, I will be on other channels. I have to respect that brand, that team. As much as I love to bring out Kermit, and I think I'll still bring out Kermit this year, that ain't going to change. No suit for you. I ain't changing that stuff. But you know what? I'm going to respect people this year because we all have, I can take it from me. I do think I like hearing about my Chargers. No, I don't. But you know what? My grandma always told me, respect. You want respect others, or you want to be respected in return. I did a lot of shit talking last year. Hey, I'm going to still talk, but I'm going to tone it down this year. I'm just not going to be as hatred. I mean, I know it could be haterade, but I'm just going to tone it back a little bit this year. How much does David Njoku's arrival impact Oronde Gadsden's fantasy ceiling with Justin Herbert? All right, Emil, my take on this is last year I talked about not having the red zone threat. I feel Njoku having that big husky body, pause. I really think he can be a red zone threat, but I ain't gonna lie. I really do think Oronde Gadsden is going to be a thing in this offense. It's just more of how things shake out in camp and where's the pecking order. I mean, we're going to run 2 tight end personnel, I feel. Mike McDaniel loves the tight end. So to me, is it going to be a Gadsden week, or is it going to be a Njoku week? I mean, I do think, to be honest with you, Emil, I think Njoku does take a little bit into Gadsden. But, I mean, hey, if you can get both of them, it'd be nice. But, I mean, I have Gadsden in multiple places. Did I go out and run this year and get Njoku? I did not. I just feel in my heart of hearts, if I went out and did that, I'd probably regret it, because I really do think Gadsden's going to have a big role in this offense either way. So that's the reason why I personally, I know part of people say, oh, he's going to go out and get Njoku. I didn't. I just didn't feel, for me, I didn't feel like doing that. Not that I didn't want to spend up and pay for it. It's just I feel that Gadsden is going to have a solid role in this offense, and people are not seeing that. I mean, I know people joke, oh, let's go get Njoku. I'm not gonna run to that. I did that a couple times last year, and it kind of backfired on me. I'm just gonna stay back this year and say, hey, let's see what I got and go from there, man. I think it's in this Mike McDaniel system. I'm really confident that Gadsden's going to get his targets. He's going to see it. It's just an addition to Njoku. But remember, I look at it this way. If you do have Gadsden, Njoku's only here for a year. So that's why another reason why I didn't jump and say, oh, let's go get Njoku. No, because I know he's here for 1 year. That's it. And I know Gadsden's right there. And we saw what Gadsden can do last year in the time he was on the field, and it was wonderful. So that's why I didn't jump this year. I could have. Being a Charger lover, I would normally 2 or 3 years ago, I would have gone out and gotten Njoku and probably overpaid for something I didn't need. But no, I'm not going to do that. But I really do feel they're both going to have an important part of this offense this year. So, but hey, man, I really don't. I do think he's going to eat into it a little bit, Emil, but I don't think it's going to. This is my opinion. I'm just me, but that's just me being a Chargers lover. I just think he's going to eat into a little bit, but I really do think they're both going to eat in this offense. So that's my own opinion. We saw it. Yeah. Jonnu. Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly, Chase. What Jonnu Smith did in Miami, he was eating. He was putting up those fantasy numbers. But Mike McDaniel, you're not just looking at, remember, we don't have 2 tight ends. We had 3. You also got Charlie Kolar there too, one of the best blocking tight ends in the entire NFL. So it's not like we're going to have Gadsden and Njoku. We are going to have Charlie Kolar, which is going to be, yeah, it to me, that is a fantasy nightmare because you got 3. But there's nothing I could do about it. What team? Okay, let's see. King D says, salute everyone in the chat. Facts on the Orange Crush. Yeah. Bogey says the team is going to run again. Yeah, exactly, Bogey. You taught me well. JD's taught me well. And especially with Mike McDaniel, we know how he likes that personnel, especially with the tight ends. So it's not like I feel they're both going to be valuable in fantasy football this year. And as Bogey would tell me, man, this is how Mike McDaniel runs his system. And this is also like how Jim Harbaugh runs his system. Bogey would know that. It's from the Shanahan tree. So to me, if anyone I had to ask anything about the McDaniel, would be Bogey, JD, because they know that Shanahan tree. So I'm not as like Bogey and JD when it comes to the Shanahan tree. That's been their man. But you know what? But listening to them and saying, yeah, this is the personnel they're going to run, and we know what he does with the tight ends. With Mike, yeah, as Bogey says, with Mike McDaniel, they might fuck around and run a bunch of 13. So we're all 3 of the same path. Exactly. So in other words, for us fantasy managers, it's a fantasy nightmare. But you know what? We're going to deal with it. And you know what? That's why I really, as I said, I didn't jump on I didn't get rid of. I mean, I could have got rid of everyone's. Oh, you got to get rid of Gadsden. No, I'm not. I always think it's a 1-year rental in Njoku, but it's going to be a fun offense to watch. But for fantasy, it is. I'm not going to say it's not going to be fun, but if we'll see, But I think with Elijah Molden, this is what I picked up a couple days ago. if you're talking about IDP, I think he's going to have around 80 to 84 tackles. Solo tackles, something around 56. Guccini says this, yeah, it won't help when locking a tight end. Exactly. Yeah, that won't help. No, exactly. It's going to, as JD, I really think it's going to be as the 12 and 13 packages, multiple tight ends. So it could be a Gadsden week. It could be in a joke week. I think it's all going to be on the matchups too. But we shall see. Justin Herbert got a bunch of weapons and Sutton for, yeah, I mean, you know what? It's nice to have all these weapons now. Don't get me wrong. But now we have the weapons. Let's use. I mean, let's put up points. We do have Mike McDaniels. Now that we have the weapons, let's put the points up. I'm sick and tired of these 3-score games. This year, I'm not going to lock this in. I'm going to expect a lot more points this year, a lot more scores. So that's going to help us fantasy manage. And I think it's going to be a better year fantasy-wise for the Los Angeles Chargers players in fantasy football. Now, for the offensive side of the ball, now the defensive side of the ball, you got the same cast of characters. But as I said, with Molden, I think it's 82 tackles, about 55 solos, maybe 2 interceptions, 6 or 7 pass defended, forced fumbles 1, fumble recoveries 1. But I think he gets maybe 1 to 2 sacks. But it is what it is. But Molden is a name just to look at fantasy football. I'm not saying go out and get him. I already have him. I've had him from like maybe two years ago when he came in the league. But I think he's more of like ADP wise, about a DB 30 to DB 35. So about in round wise, I'm thinking say that's probably 30. It's around 18 to 22 in full IDP formats, basically. But now he's basically, in other words, a late round sleeper pick. That's what I would think, a late round pick. But it's an excellent value also if you're waiting on defensive backs. If you're waiting on it, it's a good pickup in the end. But on that note, that's a wrap for that segment on Molden. JD, you want to pull up the first Herbo picture? Let's go. All right, JD and Bogey just mentioned Justin Herbert. Well, I said earlier, I've said it multiple times, a lot of things. Now that we have Mike McDaniel, a lot of pressure now is on Justin Herbert. Come on. He's been called average. He's been called multiple things. Now he has Mike McDaniel. They're really, as Booga Peter said, hashtag no excuses. That's kind of legit. There is no excuses. We have Mike McDaniel. What is there to prove? To prove win the goddamn fucking first playoff game. Let's get that monkey off your back. Well, I feel now Justin Herbert has a lot to prove now. He has to prove the haters wrong. A lot of people hate on him, this and that, but now he has a lot to prove. Prove the naysayers wrong. If you get that monkey off your back, I remember I think it was Bogey said a little earlier today, he says if Justin Herbert gets that monkey off his back, it could be a different story. Let's hope. And if that's true, I'll be happy with that, man. Just see what he can do. Once that first playoff win comes, I think, I can do it. And then just build off it and build off. That's self-esteem. Just build off and just improve. That's all you got to do. All right. Well, I'm going to call it one. Turbo still has more to prove. All right. Well, one thing has jumped out. ESPN annual survey, just like they did with Derwin James. They ranked Justin Herbert as the number 7th quarterback. I have him. I know JD had him on his video. I think it was around 10. I was cool with that, whatever. But I had Justin Herbert between around 7 to 8. That was for me. But ESPN ranked him 7th. That's fine. But I think a lot of that ranking is because of Mike McDaniel. Going into this coming season, they have a lot of high expectations for Justin Herbert. You got a fully loaded offensive unit now. You got Lad McConkey back. Let's hope we get the Lad as we talked about on the last show. I mean, we all want to hear those fire at the bagpipes. I know I do, because I know when Lad scores, that's Justin Herbert points. That's touchdown. That's Lad McConkey points. I want to hear those bagpipes. Last year, it got kind of dull not hearing the bagpipes. We heard them a few times, but they weren't the bagpipes. They were the year of the rookie year. And we heard those bagpipes quite often, and that was a beautiful sight. But I think all these executives in the top, they just ranked them 7th. That's fine. They want to rank Justin Herbert 7th. I'm fine, because I'm around that 7 to 8, as I said. But I said, let's not forget about Justin Herbert's accomplishments also last season. He led the entire NFL with 10 touchdown passes, throwing outside the pocket also. He also, as I've mentioned many times, 129 quarterback hits, 16 different offensive lines, most in the NFL. Come on, I ain't saying that's, to me, you can disrespect Justin Herbert all you want, but look what he did last year with his bookend tackles and an offensive line. Take into account this year, we have a new center. We don't have a clown on the center that's running that offensive line. No, we don't have a clown. We have a badass, Tyler Biotish. Then you get Rashawn Slater back, Joe Alt. We know what Joe Alt is like in the lineup. We were 5-1 last year. Let's see. We were 5-1 when he was in the lineup, 6-6 when he was not in the lineup. That's a huge difference when you have your two bookend tackles, a new center, and an offensive line that has a lot more additions to it. So to me, there's really no more. That's why Booga said there's no more hashtag no excuses. There isn't an excuse. You got to go out there and play. You got to have an help. This is an offensive line Justin Herbert hasn't had in his career. So to me, it's got to go out and ball, man. I mean, let's not forget. I mean, this tells you everything you need to know about Justin Herbert. We know his elite arms talent, his football IQ, but he's worked on his mechanics. He's worked not just his mechanics, his footwork, his timing. They say he's knocked his time from last year off in half, getting the ball out, Paul. So to me, it's going to be a better year. Let's hope for Justin Herbert with Mike McDaniel and all these things he's learned, he can put into play, and then going forward. Because are we going to have Mike McDaniel next year? Who knows? I doubt it. But, oh, man, it would be a special thing if somehow, hey, I know Booga and I were mentioning this on the imagine if, hypothetically, hey, is Mike McDaniel a coach in waiting if Jim Harbaugh isn't that man? That would be a nice thing for Justin Herbert. Do I see it happening? I really don't. But stranger things can happen. We're talking about Dean Spanos here. He's got a mind of his own. So who the hell knows? He wants to win. But, I mean, that's just a total hypothetical. Just imagine if you had Mike McDaniel waiting in the wings. I know his wife loves L.A., loves California. But, hey, stranger things have happened. No, but to me, if Justin Herbert puts all these things he's learning, puts it all together with Mike McDaniel, this could be a good year. I said it many times. I really do think this could be a special year for Justin Herbert and this Los Angeles Chargers offense in general. But as I said, I always say it, it's key to this offense is having a healthy offensive line. We know what it's like when Joe Alt's out of the uniform on the field, and what it's like not on the field. So to me, it's going to come down to that offensive line. To me, the Los Angeles Chargers this year go as far as that offensive line stays healthy. Other than that offensive line goes down, could be a nightmare year. I ain't going to lie. Even if Justin Herbert goes down, who do you have to back him up? Trey Lance? Come on. That is really sad in its own too. So if we can keep this Justin Herbert jersey clean this year, keep him upright, keep him not injured, it can be a wonderful thing. But you know what? As McDaniel, as the coordinator this year, I think it's going to be good. You're going to look at schemes. You're going to look at things that we didn't see last year with the Chargers, the wrinkles we're going to throw out. We're going to throw out these trick plays, all that kind of stuff. We know Mike McDaniel, what he brings to the table. He's an offensive mind and an offensive genius. He comes from the Shanahan tree, and you know what the Shanahan tree is like. It's a pretty impressive thing, So all these coaches are getting jobs, and where are they coming from? They're coming from the Shanahan tree. So obviously, we're going to see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing this, but it's going to be a fun year. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's not just – we're not talking about a proper quarterback. I mean, remember Mike McDaniel had Tua, Elkin Costello. Now he gets Justin Herbert to work with. So, please, I mean, I think it's going to be a year. It's going to be a fun year, but most of all, it's going to be a fun offense for the Chargers this year and for fantasy football owners. So, hey. But to me, now that Justin Herbert has Mike McDaniel, and all these people say, oh, he's not elite, we're going to see what Justin Herbert is really about this year and what he's made of. We know he's a tough SOB. We know what he can do. Now, let's just put all these pieces together this year, and this could be a wonderful year to watch Justin Herbert thrive in this offense with Mike McDaniel. And to me, if those two are in sync, it could be a scary thing for other opposing teams. But hey, who's on our schedule? It's next team up. But hey, man, I'm going to take it one game at a time this year. Looking forward to it. We're going to have a fun. It's going to be a fun too. Well, I'm not going to say no games are going to be easy. What's up, Commish? Shout out to the Crooked Commish in the Chicago Clubhouse. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas, man. It's going to be some good times. Hey, it's always going to be good walking in the Chicago Clubhouse. Whenever I'm invited over, I look forward to coming over this year. It's going to be fun. You're welcome over here anytime you want to come to Commission also. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the camaraderie this year. It's going to be fun this year. But, I mean, we know what Justin Herbert's about, but it's going to be – we shall see. I can do all this talking about Justin Herbert, but how he plays the game this year with Mike McDaniel, I think it's going to be special. But you know what? I'm looking forward to all these high expectations that are being put on the Chargers. But now we have to take these expectations and go, okay, let's go forward with it. But I'm looking forward. But hey, ESPN can rank him where he wants, but it was around the number I thought. So I thought it was pretty fair. I mean, some people would not think it. I thought it was a fair number, 7 to 8. But going into the season, there are expectations. And I said on this show, I think 12-5 or 11-6 is the number this year. But I think we've hit that 11-6 2 years in a row. Why not go for 12? That's my personal opinion. Why not? Would you want? You know what, Commish? Of course, I would want him. I know he wants a California team, but if I had to be honest with you, he's going to go to a California team, but I have a funny feeling if there's a team he's going to go, it's called Bang Bang Niner Gang, because you know what? They have the most money in the NFL. And this is like my Chargers. They've been injured. The 49ers were injured this year, but you know what? Injuries happen to everyone. But I as Bogey said to me earlier, come to the Niners. I could see it happening. There's the money, and they could use them. But hey, I did see before I hopped on the show, started the show, I did see that the shout out to Bakes and the Las Vegas Raiders have submitted a trade offer for Villa. But we shall see what happens. What do you think would cost a first-round pick? I think it's for Villa, maybe a second. I don't know about a first, maybe a second, because he has had some injuries the last couple of years. I'd probably say a second-round pick. I do not know the value of him because being a defensive player. So I couldn't really answer your question on that one, but I'm just going to go on the limb and say a second. But dude, he when healthy, that man is a force on the field. So, I mean, you're paying for someone that knows what the hell they're doing, and it's a force on that field. So, I probably could see a second, but I think that I see the 40. He wants to come to California, I guess. So we shall see what happens on that, but. I mean, Tampa Bay right now is in flux. I mean, we saw what happened with Baker Mayfield. He's got to play out his contract this year and then hit free agency possibly next March to see what happens. And he's got to prove it to himself to get paid. So we shall see. Tampa's like in flux, but I think to answer your question, Commissioner, I think a second-round pick. Alrighty. But I just think, ESPN can rank Herbert where it's at. I'm fine with it. I mean, now that I really look at it, I've seen a lot of other people say Herbert number 7 or number 8, and I'm fine with that. To me, that's why I call this segment Justin Herbert has a lot to prove, not just to others, but to prove to everyone, hey, I'm better than that 7 ranking. So to me, that's why if you're 7, go out and prove why you feel you're better. So that's what I feel. Well, I know I talked about Herbert. I'm going to talk about him again. And I tell him, and that leads to my next segment. I know I said about Justin Herbert being elite. Well, why not talk about why I think he can't be elite? And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to call this one the year Justin Herbert joins that elite, NFL elite. So we'll go with that one. Let's see. I say one of the bold predictions you've seen from in 2026 comes from PFF, and they think it's worth talking about. Believes Justin Herbert has everything it takes to earn his first career All-Pro selection this season. And when you really look at the Herbert accomplishments in 2025, it's hard to argue against that. Also, as I said a little earlier, he's playing without an offensive line all year long, 16 different combinations, 129 quarterback hits, almost led the league in sacks, not that far behind other quarterbacks, but I'm just saying. You add all those pieces back together, I can see why. Think about what wasn't working last year. He didn't have an offensive line. But according to PFF, Chargers had the lowest graded offensive line in the entire NFL. Yes, I said it. The entire NFL. Every single week, Herbert was under constant pressure, hit, pressured, sacked. Defenders were almost face-to-face with him all the time because that offensive line was straight fucking trash. What I'm going to be honest with you. As a Chargers fan last year, what was our offense? It was straight rubbish. I ain't gonna lie. Snap after snap. I mean, Justin Herbert had to force the ball. He had to run for his life last year. Come on now. I don't want to see that running for his life again. We know he's a gazelle, but I don't want to have him run because hey, someone's coming after him. We have an offensive line this year. I mean, it's hard to argue against that prediction. All the PFF has to say because he's going to have that offensive line this year. He's got to have the new additions. But now you think about what happened last year. What can happen this year? That's why they're predicting these numbers are going to be better. According to PFF, as I said, the Chargers had the worst. In the entire league. That's crazy. I mean, what can we do? Either Justin Herbert had no time to throw the ball last year. He couldn't even escape because there was someone always on him. I mean, but that's the challenge we would have faced last year. But the new challenge this year, we got to help the offensive line. You got a receiving corps. You got Ladd McConkey back healthy this year. You got Quentin Johnson back with his $18 million guarantee. You got to add Gadsden back. You got to add the new addition in the Njoku, as we mentioned earlier in the chat. As I said, it's no excuses. You add all the offensive line, the weapons Justin Herbert had, Mike McDaniel. There is no excuses not to be elite this year. So to me, do I feel he takes that next step? Yes, I do. Why do I feel that way? I'm going to say call that the Mike McDaniel effect, and I feel like he's going to have not just a little bit improvement he's got to have a drastic change for Justin Herbert. He's changing a lot of things, and hey, Justin Herbert, almost year in and year out, it's a different OC. It's different that. Everything's been different almost every single year. There hasn't been a consistency. Yes, he had Greg Old Man Roman running that stale offense for 2 years, but that's not going to be the offense we're going to run this year. We're going to run a much faster paced offense, I believe, in the Shanahan offense. So in the Mike McDaniel offense, so we can go there. But to me, what separates great quarterbacks to elite quarterbacks is, don't just they thrive, but under pressure. We know Justin Herbert thrives under pressure, but we saw that last year when he was running. But now this year you give him time to throw the ball, space, schemes, all these things we didn't see last year. It's going to be a wonderful thing. As I said, just having his tackles back is going to be a difference. As I said earlier with Joe Alt on the field, and now also Rashawn Slater, who was coming back from that patella tendon injury. That was a scary injury, but hey, I'm glad to have him back. I'm glad to have them both back. But this offensive line is going to be fun. As I said last week, this offense can click this year. Everything revolves around the health. Amari and Hampton, as I said, he's going to have a big year. Everything revolves around this offensive line. None of this can happen without the offensive line being back. So to me, all these things can come into place, but we shall see if it happens. But fast forward to 2026, we're going to find out soon enough. We're only 7 Sundays away from football. That's crazy. 7 Sundays from football. That is nuts. I'm looking forward to that, man. Football back again. I mean, look at the Hall of Fame game. I think it's the 4th of August, or it's coming up. But Football is back. Fantasy football is back. So it's going to be exciting. I mean, I think this offense as a whole, as I said, it's going to be fun to watch. This is going to be a fun Chargers offense. So to me, it's going to, I mean, another thing, Herbert always has the physical tools. The arm strength has never been questioned. That's never been questioned for Justin Herbert. His accuracy's there. It's one of the best in football, along with Josh Allen and a couple other quarterbacks. Yeah, that deep ball pause is going to be there. As I said, we really didn't get a lot. Also last year, I mentioned a lot. Explosive plays last year really wasn't a thing of beauty in the Chargers offense. We didn't get to see those explosive plays. This year, I'm hoping we see a lot more explosive plays. In the Mike McDaniel offense, I think we do. I mean, we know Herbert's durable, incredibly intelligent. Come on. But he exceeded a lot of expectations last year without that offensive line. But what can you do this year with the offensive line? As I said, if he can do what he did last year without an offensive line and this year with an offensive line, that's why I really do feel Justin Herbert could and should be in the MVP conversation this year if all these things go to plan. I'm not saying he's going to be, but I'm saying with all these expectations for Justin Herbert, why not? Why can't he be in it? You know, there's going to be 32 quarterbacks saying exactly the same thing. I can be in there. I can be in that conversation. But, hey, you got to play the game. You got to prove. You got to put those stats up. So we shall see on that one. But, you know, I really do think. But I did 3 Justin Herbert things this year. I did a lot to prove, elite. And the next one going to be is time is now. JD, you want to pull up that time is now picture? All right. So this will be my final Justin Herbert, I promise you. So I'm getting sick and tired of this stuff, but I don't. All righty. Hold on a second. All right. One of the most I wouldn't say storylines. We all know that what the expectations are for Herbert this year. Whether the Chargers can contend for a Super Bowl. I ain't going to say Super Bowl this year. I want the playoffs first. Get the monkey off his back. Because I feel once you get that monkey off his back, as I said a little earlier, I think you're going to see that Justin Herbert just thrive. But I know all the expectations. I know Chargers fans want a Super Bowl. But, hey, that's the goal. That's every 32 teams' goal every single year is to win a Super Bowl. Right now, we're looking at, you know, we have to get there. We have to win the playoffs first before we can say, it's Super Bowl. But I think you can have all those individual accolades you want. But football is not an individual sport. It's a team sport. So what's that team goal? It's a Super Bowl. That's all Chargers fans want. All 49ers fans want. All Texans fans, Jets, Vikings fans. We all want exactly the same. We want a Super Bowl. Shit, I want that every single day of my life. But, hey, beggars can't be choosers. But, man, I think this year is where also I didn't say in the last thing. I feel Justin Herbert this year possibly could get his first team all-pro selection for sure this year if how all these intangibles are going to play out with Mike McDaniel, the offensive line. I mean, let's start with the numbers. In 2025, Justin Herbert finished with the 10th highest PFF quarterback rate at 78.0. On the surface, that might just jump off the page, but on to the next, it's nothing much. But Herbert posted the 5th lowest turnover-worthy play rate in the NFL at 2.8%. Think about that for a second. Despite the constant pressure, the collapsing pockets, very little room for error, Justin Herbert protected the football on an elite level. So he was taking care of the football last year. That is a point of emphasis. Take care of the football, you can score points. When you don't take care of the football, you got to leave it to your defense to get the ball back to you. He wasn't forcing throws last year. He was the year before. I ain't gonna lie. That's one thing Justin Herbert was not doing, was forcing throws last year. Now this is going to be interesting this year. And we do this again. It'd be nice. I mean, if he plays smart, plays carefree football, that's going to come. All these things and the intangibles are going to help Justin Herbert this year. Get that all-pro selection. Get that monkey off his back. I think a lot of things happen this year. A lot of these, what he wants to do, all these individual accomplishments will come to him. I feel, because I think this is going to be a great offense for him, even if it's 1 year or whatnot. But I think he's going to learn quite a bit for Justin Herbert this year. Now you think of all these things that he's working on: the footwork, the technique, the accuracy is not there. The accuracy is there, but the timing and all the schemes, yeah. But according to PFF, Herbert has accomplished all this while playing behind, as I said, the lowest graded offensive line. That's just not below average offensive line. We know what kind of players we have in Joe Walton and Rashawn Slater. But every week, Herbert was hit week in, week out. Let's find out. But if we can do this in the Mike McDaniel offense, I don't see why Justin Herbert can't thrive. Justin Herbert can't do this. All these things. Yes, it's now we have to produce and do this on the field. I have high expectations for this team this year. Is it the Mike McDaniel effect? I think that's part of it. But the other part of it for me is knowing we have an offensive line back. That's the exciting part for me. Watching this team last year was heartbreaking, because you know what? You know what Justin Herbert can do, but without that offensive line, it shows what Justin Herbert is. But now we're going to see with the offensive line. And I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I'm looking to proving a lot of people wrong. I mean, that's why they play the game. That's why we're going to find out. But I really do think it's going to be a fun year for us Charger fans this year, and for Justin Herbert. If it's an individual accomplishment or if it's a team accomplishment, I want both this year. I'm going to be greedy. I want a lot this year. I want that first playoff win. That's probably the biggest thing I'm asking for this year. If I'm asking for a Christmas gift from the Chargers, give me that playoff win. That's what I want for Justin Herbert, and that's what I want for this team. Because I feel if we get that, we can go far this year. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, he's got the supporting cast. He's got the coaches. It shouldn't be no excuses. All the things are there for Justin Herbert to grow, thrive. Let's play the game. I want to get this thing started, man. That's how excited I am for this season. I mean, if Mike McDaniel's system clicks in everywhere, as many expect, why not us? Why not this happening? I mean, I'm not just trying to be the Jim Harbaugh. Who's got it better than us? That gets lame after a while. But you know what? I'm going to say, why not us? Why can't we have? Why not? Why not us Chargers? Let's do it this year. Let's go. Let's take one goal at a time. Let's complete that goal. Let's go aim for bigger, higher goals each week. I mean, my first one, I'm going to say this year, it's win the AFC West this year. 9 years is a long, 2009 is a long time of not winning the AFC West. And I feel that's to be the first accomplishment this year, is take back the West. Then let's get that second, then for me, would be the playoffs. Get the monkey off Herbert's back, get that playoff win, and just go from there. But also stay healthy this year. Those are my three things. Stay healthy, the division, and the first playoff win, and then let everything else fall into place. Because for once, Dean Spanos has got all these things for the Los Angeles Chargers to thrive. On paper, that's great. You can have it on paper, but now you got to produce that on the field and make it happen. So it's there. Let's go out and do this. I mean, we got the quarterback. We got a young defense. We have a good. I think our team in general is a team that can compete this year, and compete. Am I saying compete for a title? I'm not going to say that right now. I want to see how training camp plays out, all the drafts, all the pecking orders, and then I'll get to that. But I do think this year we can have a great team, and I think a playoff team, and make a deep run in the playoffs. False. But all these, as I said, the accolades would be great, but I want a team accolade. I want that in the end. I want to lift that Lombardi trophy. I'm not going to say if it's this year, but I feel it's coming. That's what I'm going to say. To be honest with you, I feel one is coming. Do I think it's this year? I don't know. I can't say it's this year, but I feel one is coming. That's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to be, because the Chargers always break our hearts. I ain't going to lie. You have the high expectations every single year. And I won't lie, I put a lot of expectations. Oh my God, I want it. And then they're breaking your hearts, and that kind of hurts. But you know what? That's being a Charger fan for you. So, hey, I have to be real. I have to be real myself too. Now, on this next segment, I'm going to lead it to this. We go from LA. Let's bring it back to San Diego. All right, JD, you want to pull up that picture for me, please? Alrighty. So I almost said San Diego Chargers. That's just me because I just like saying that. I'll have to say Los Angeles Chargers. But hey, the Chargers are going back to their roots. They're bringing it back to San Diego. The Chargers are heading back to San Diego and to do training camp practices in Diego, SD. So I think that's one of the coolest stories. I mean, bringing it back to where it was. As I know, Kid has said, man, why did they leave? Why did they leave San Diego? It's all about the money. Ball out edits. Thank you. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, but you know what? It's nice. I think it's gonna be nice for the fans that are going to the training camp. Hey, that's kind of cool. It's gonna be in San Diego. I mean, excuse my dog. Hold on a second. Go. Patience. Jump to conclusions. This isn't about rumors or anything like that. They're actually going to be in San Diego. It's be kind of cool. I asked Charged Up Jay over on TikTok, my friend, if he was going. I know he was getting tickets for training camp, so that's kind of cool. But that's kind of cool, man. I know tickets that went on sale, they went kind of fast. I think I read or someone told me they went in about 3 or 4 hours, the training camp tickets. But yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool bringing it back to San Diego, bringing it back to where they're from. I have a couple things of San Diego Chargers, and I hold on to those dear life because you can't really find them anywhere. If you do, you got to pay an arm or a leg for those kind of things. But I have a flag outside, and I got a couple sweatshirts, but no, I hold on to those because you don't find them anymore. But no, everything's Los Angeles Chargers. I know Kid had told me about that, leaving a lot of people, it hurt a lot of people leaving San Diego because San Diego is a lovely place. I wonder if a football team does return there one day. They got a great fan base, but it sucks that the Chargers did leave there because it was all about the stadium. And I know Dean Spanos probably could have got something done, but hey, didn't happen. I know they were trying to build something on the, I think it was the riverfront of San Diego. There's something like that, but just didn't work out. But I think it's going to be kind of cool for fans bringing it back, though, for training camp, for practices, and just bringing back the nostalgia for San Diego. But it kind of sucks that I know a lot of Chargers fans hated it. They left San Diego for Los Angeles, but it is what it is. We could do. It's about the stadium, and I don't see Dean Spanos jumping out of that lease that he has with Dean Kroenke. That cost a lot of money. But history still matters, but that probably matters to a lot of Chargers fans, I bet. I'm not from San Diego, so I can't really talk about that. But I bet you some people who are diehard Chargers fans that are from San Diego probably it hurt them quite a bit because, that was their team and they were there. But now they're in LA, so hey. But I think it's good. It's fun for the fans that are going to be going and all that kind of stuff. But hey, it'll be kind of fun. I'm looking forward to football being here. We're just a matter of what? The training camp's already starting, so that they reported I think the Chargers reported yesterday or today. That's football's here. All right, JD, you want to pull up that KLS picture, and it's Trey Harris and KLS. All right, I know I talked about Trey Harris and KLS, but I think there's a lot of talk about Trey Harris. Could he step up this year and be, just hypothetically, as I said, remember, Quentin Johnson did sign his $18 million guaranteed contract. Is he going to be with the Chargers next year? We shall see. If not, this is where I see Trey Harris or KLS stepping up this year to maybe be that wide receiver 2 next year to Ladd McConkey. Because if Quentin Johnson is not here, one of them has to step up. Who do I see? Is it KLS or is it Trey Harris? We know that Trey Harris has the same draft capital as Ladd McConkey, a second-round pick. So to me, if anyone's going to step up, it's got to be Trey Harris. But we shall see this year of the two. The Chargers wide receiver could look a lot different, as I said, in 2026 but from the looks of it right now, looks like Keenan Allen is not returning to the Los Angeles Chargers. If that was the case, he would have returned by now. And I've heard nothing at all about Keenan Allen returning to the Chargers. The last thing I heard is Keenan Allen had opened up that he's willing to play for teams on the East Coast. So we know he's only played for 2 teams. The Chicago Bears, shout out to the Crooked Commission, the Chicago Clubhouse, and for the Los Angeles Chargers. But now he's willing to go to the East Coast. But I really do think with our wide receiver room, with Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, KLS, Trey Harris, and Brennan Thompson, we have a young nucleus of a tight end room. Do I think I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, we're missing that wide receiver one. We have that in Ladd, but we didn't get that last year. I do see a bounce back year from Ladd this year. Don't get me wrong. I really do. But a lot of people are like, oh, you guys need a wide receiver one. But we do have 5 wide receivers in that wide receiver room. Ladd is that 1, Q's that 2, and then we'll figure out the rest. But I really, out of the 2, I see Trey Harris stepping up the most this year of Trey Harris and KLS. I mean, the second-year wide receivers. I mean, it's going to be Trey Harris and KLS will they become major fantasy players this year? Of the 2, I probably see Trey Harris. Out of Trey Harris, I see Trey Harris as being the more fantasy reliable this year. Because KLS, we really didn't see on the field much last year. He really didn't have too many touches. Trey Harris did. KLS, not really. So, I mean, to me, if I looked at the outlook for Trey Harris has the tools for fantasy minutes to maybe have a breakout year candidate. I mean, he brings size, he brings contested catch ability, and a strong yards after the catch, something that I think is going to thrive in the Mike McDaniel offense. And that's where I think QJ thrives this year is the yak. And I think that's where Trey Harris does thrive this year too. He has the speed. He has the catch, that yards of the catch potential, but he can earn a starting role opposite Ladd McConkey this year or hopefully going forward to next year if QJ is not here, as I said a little earlier. He could become Justin Herbert's preferred red zone target also too. But we shall see. It's, as his rookie stats, he had 34 receptions, 487 yards, 4 touchdowns, 14.3 yards per catch. And that was for Trey Harris. Now, do I look at his projected stats? I'm going to say he's going to have maybe double the receptions possibly, maybe on 68, maybe close to like 830 yards this year, possibly. Maybe an uptick in the touchdowns, maybe 6 to 8 touchdowns this year. This is for Trey Harris. Now, so fantasy value, his ADP is around a wide receiver 46 to 52. Overall ADP around rounds 9 to 10 in the 12-man league. In the fantasy tier, I'm going to say he's a high upside wide receiver 4 with the wide receiver 3 upside. I mean, it's good. Best format probably for dynasty and best ball, I feel, on that. I mean, he's a late sleeper if you're looking for a wide receiver. I mean, Herbert continues pushing the ball downfield to Harris, and his physical profile, he's got that. Emerges the Chargers, one of their touchdown producers this year would be nice too. Now, that's the Trey Harris. Let me get to the KLS upside. I'm not going to say it's going to jump off the charts. His rookie season, he had 29 receptions. As I said, it was a very low volume year last year. He had 382 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. I think they were like garbage time touchdowns too, if I recall. Now, as for the 2026, I'm going to say maybe about 48 to 50 receptions, maybe between 600 and 650 yards, receiving yards, and maybe 4 to 5 touchdowns this year. Fantasy value, He's around ADP wise about wide receiver 60 to like 68. A ball out. Hey, appreciate you. ADP is around round 12 to 14. He's a late round sleeper. And as I said, it's probably for PPR and Dynasty, but even that, it's like a Dynasty stash. Nothing I would have him. I mean, I may have KLS, maybe like, let me think, maybe 2 spots. I had him probably still on my taxi squad. I have to move him off it, but I mean, as I said, if you're looking at fantasy like takeaways, Trey Harris is a player you can target, right? If you're looking for almost like a bye week filler, I take a flyer on Trey Harris. Would I take a flyer on KLS? Probably not. That's entirely up to you if you want to, but for me, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be it'd have to be like a desperate move for me. But if it's Trey Harris, I would take a dart throw on it, because it's just good. I think he could fall and just get targets in this Mike McDaniel offense. KLS, as I said, not really. But as I said, with Keenan Allen gone, all those targets that Keenan got are going to go to other players this year. So you got to take that into effect. That's going to go to Ladd. That's going to go to QJ. That's going to go down. So there are going to be more targets that from last year to this year. So there will be there. But other than that, not really too much. Of the two, I think I'd be more worried about getting Trey Harris than KLS. I think KLS also, if there was a couple blurbs out that said, hey, he could be on kickoffs or punt returns. Now some leagues have that for kickoffs, so that's also something to take into effect too. So I'm gonna kill that segment. JD, this should be a fun segment. I'm gonna bring up a uniform thing. This looks kind of. I mentioned Baker Mayfield earlier, and I mentioned the Tampa Bay Bucks. Well, we're gonna get the battle of the uniforms in Week 13. Let's go. We're gonna get the Chargers. But they're going to get the yellow jerseys. And we know last year, a lot of people said they couldn't stand the yellow jerseys. Well, we're getting the yellow jersey, but with white pants. So to me, it's a little better color combination than yellow shirt, yellow pants, yellow socks. That was nasty. But I think the yellow jersey with the white pants is going to look good this year. It looked a lot better than last year. That looked kind of horrible last year. I ain't going to lie. I got the yellow sitting right there over there. I'll bring that to Vegas, all that kind of stuff. But the Tampa Bay Bucks in Week 13 are going to wear their creamsicle uniforms. So it's going to be the throwback jerseys. And I wouldn't say throwback for us. It's just that yellow jersey. I mean, I see the Rams just brought out yellow jerseys as a yo, what's up, ball out. No, I see the Rams brought their yellow jerseys, and I know King D was like, I'll pass him now. It's all good. But as I said, Week 13, the Chargers will take the field at Raymond J. Stadium wearing their gold jerseys, the Chargers Power alternate uniforms against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And their creamsicles, their throwback jerseys. Those are some nice-looking jerseys. But the Buccaneers will be wearing their iconic 1976 creamsicle throwback uniforms. I guess they made a few adjustments to the jersey. So it's going to be a battle of the jersey there. This game will be a battle in the field. Hey, Baker Mayfield is no joke. But it's going to be a fun one, man. I bet, modern gold uniforms and the creamsicles back in the day when I think back in the day when they had those alternate uniforms, I'm trying to think of some of my favorites logos. I mean, I used to live in Massachusetts. The Pat Patriot one was kind of iconic. That was a great throwback logo. I love the old Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, if anything from the Chargers was, I would bring back this. I said last week, this logo all day, every day. That one over there. I love that. I'd love the Chargers to bring that back, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. I would love that if we could have that on the helmet, that logo. That's the logo I would love. I mean, that's my favorite all-time Chargers logo is that one right there, is the shield up there. But, I mean, they're going to play this one Week 13 on December 6th, and it's going to be in Tampa Bay. But I think it's going to be a fun game. I mean, this is going to be an exciting game, but it's just they're just bringing back the jerseys. But then again, you get Baker Mayfield, you get Bucky Irving, you get Tampa. That Tampa is good. The team is gonna be a fun team to watch this year for regular football and fantasy. So it should be a fun year for Tampa Bay. I mean, we know Tampa had a good year last year. I mean, but it should be fun. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, who wins the uniform battle? We'll see. To me, I just want the Chargers to win that game. As much as I do like Baker Mayfield, I think I got the Chargers in this one. Do I think it will be a shootout with being Baker and Herbert? I think it's going to be a great game. But then again, you always have to remember in Tampa, that humidity is nasty. I mean, I remember that's one thing when you play down in Florida. You got to be – it's not like the California sun. It's a lot of humidity down there. So it's going to be an interesting game for sure. I'm looking forward to that one. All right, JD, you want to pull up those news and notes picture, please? All right. Well, let me give a shout-out to Justin Herbert and Madison Beer. Justin Herbert and Madison Beer this morning, or before I want to wake your game up, announced their engagement. Congratulations to the both of them. Herbo, you got yourself a ring. Now let's go get the proper ring. Let's go get a Super Bowl ring. You may have given her a nice diamond. Now let's go get our own jewelry. That's what I want. So congratulations on that. I know he announced it on Instagram and social media this morning that he and Madison Beer are engaged. So congratulations to them. Now let's go out there. We saw what Josh Allen did last year when he found out he was going to be a daddy. He went out there and got MVP. Justin Herbert, now go out there and do your thing. Sling that rock, and let's go. Now, as for Ladd McConkey's hamstring, he will be a full go for training camp. So he rested, and as I said, early on in the offseason, Ladd was dealing with that soft tissue injury. He's good to go for camp. Now, as I said, Derwin James, he made the NFL top 100. He ranked number 50. He was number 54 last year, so it's an improvement. Now, Phil Simms said heaped a lot of praise for Justin Herbert and Mike McDaniel. Phil Simms says 2026 LA Chargers offense will be something to be scared of this year. Well, those are some words, but in order to say those words, you got to back them up too. Now, as for Chargers right tackle Joe Alt, he came in at number 9 on Jeremy Fowler's offensive tackle ranking for 2026. So shout out to Joe Alt. I'm looking forward to staying healthy this year, keeping Justin Herbert's jersey clean, and keeping that man uptight. Let's go. All right. That's all the news I have for the Chargers for this week. Now, JD, you want to pull up that QR picture? All righty. As I said, Booga Peters, I need to thank you. I had a wonderful time on the 12-hour subathon. Shout out to JD. Shout out to Bogey. Shout out to all the guests that were on throughout. Amy Trask from the Las Vegas Raiders, the former CEO of the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure listening to you. You were full of knowledge. Even though you were from the Raiders, I learned a lot. Shout out to Adam Rank. That was a fun segment. Got to ask you 4 or 5 fantasy football questions. I watched your show for many years on NFL Live. Now it's no more, but it was fun having you on. I thank you for taking your time to come on the show. It was a lot of fun, but hey, we could see you in Las Vegas. We may not, but we did extend an invitation, and it'd be kind of fun if you do come. But it was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure got to ask you questions. But a shout out to Booga Peters and also Jeremiah Spencer. Jeremiah Spencer. It was a pleasure meeting him too and asking him questions and hearing him all about him. But I learned a lot in that 12 hours. I was a fun show, but I was drained. I know that last 2 hours, I was like, I need it. But I had a great time. Thanks to Booga Peters. That was a great time. We had a good show. 12 hours was fun, but here on the Gen Wealth on a Sunday, that's just another Sunday for us. Now, shout out to Taylor Bloom, who was on the show too, who has the Electric Edge, her Chargers podcast. It's great also. She has players on there. Also, shout out to Joe Madden Sports, who's going to be coming on before the season. Shout out to my boy Jay on Charged Up Podcast on TikTok. And then shout out to the fella backstage, JD Guccini. the man, the myth, the legend, the fantasy man who makes these amazing videos week in, week out. Thank you for what you do every single week and being the best producer. I appreciate you more than you know. And just on that note, I'll see you, the defending champ of the West Side, very soon. It's going to be fun. And on that note, for those of you that don't know, here on the Gen Wealth, we do have a giveaway going on. It's a JSN signed mini helmet. If you haven't subbed up, make sure to like, subscribe, sub up to it's the Heart to Start YouTube. The Gen Wealth, the Heart to Start, Spencer the Guru. What am I missing? NeonPeacockMerch.com. Screenshot you subbed up. Send it to the Heart to Start Instagram page. DM Guccini over there that you subbed up, and you'll be entered into the giveaway that will take place on August 21st at our second annual West Side Fantasy Football Draft in Las Vegas, where we will be having our draft. We will be having not just that giveaway, we'll be having multiple giveaways. So just I've been putting it out on socials about the helmet, the other giveaways. Just subscribe to 4 channels. You like all 4 channels and subscribe, you get more entries in to the giveaway. So not just sign. I don't highly just recommend subbing up to the GWN. Why not all 4? If you want more entries, go for all 4. Sub up. Just let JD know. I mean, we're going to announce the winner on the 21st in Las Vegas for the JSN helmet, and there's other giveaways. So just stay tuned, locked into the GWN, the Heart to Start, Neon Peacock merch, and Spencer the Guru. I mean, you're going to find everything on the Heart to Start probably, and also here in the GWN, which is the mothership of all 4 channels. But I would stay tuned here on the GWN and the Heart to Start, and also myself on socials, where I'll be posting about the giveaways and anything on socials, if it's TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Or Guccini will be, I mean, he posts it and then I just repost it. So to me, there's also a video on before one of our fantasy football shows before it starts about the giveaway. So just take note of what you have to do. And on that note, I thank everyone for tuning in for season 2, episode 15 of the Los Angeles Chargers Power Hour. And on that note, I want to thank Guccini backstage for another fella killing it backstage. And I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and taking time out of your day. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm probably going to be maybe doing one more, maybe I'm going to try to maybe get 2 more shows in before Las Vegas, maybe 1 or 2. I can't say because I have a lot going on, but I will get 1 more in before Vegas, because I know I want to have a lot of fun with the guys in Vegas. But man, as much as I want to do a show out there, I'll be bringing the fun home and preparing, because I'm probably going to be having getting in touch with Joe Madden just before I want to get back. So that's when I want to do that show with Joe Madden, so she can get her betting insight for all those who want to make any kind of bets or stuff like that, and not. But on that note, thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Chargers Power, and I'll see you next week, or I'll see you on the next episode. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. Bolt up.
try to run with the rock and you fumbled it. Finna spin the block in the mothership. Rock like Woodstock, big stock, smother shit. Word to Uncle Sam, we tax like the government. Still in the game till the day I'm in love with it. You are now rocking with the most coveted. Unapologetic, let you know who you fucking with. What's the use? I got the juice. Tapping head tops like Duck, Duck, Goose. Slide off smooth in a coupe, no roof. Rocking sheep's clothing, I'm the big bad wolf. Double up, we gon' double down and double that. If I feel him double crossed, I'ma double back. That's a couple hundred large in a duffel bag. Blitzkrieg, somebody gon' end up a pack. Yeah, with the shit. Finna call a blitz, make you call it quits. I can execute the plan on improv off script. With my brothers from another living color with the skit. Yeah, with the shit. Finna call a blitz, make you call it quits. I can execute the plan on improv off script. With my brothers from another living color with the skit. Yeah, you half steppers can't fuck with this. I'm with the big steppers and we stumping shit. Ice grill, you can feel the momentum shift. Alpha and the Omega, I'm the Genesis, real savage.